G'day everybody and welcome back to the Hardball Gets AFL show. Today on the podcast, it's the teams leading into Gather Round. This episode is brought to you by Tab Touch. The more you know, the better it gets. Download the Tab Touch app today. Real punters play here. What are you really gambling with? If you haven't subscribed to the show, wherever you're listening, please do that. Hit us up on YouTube and Instagram, TikTok at Hardball Gets AFL. All right, get stuck in. This is the Hardball Gets AFL show. My name is Nick Rynne, joined by Xavier Ellis and live from his car in the middle of a thunderstorm gather round, Ryan Daniels.
Hello, gentlemen. I'm at Unley Oval, Sturt's home ground in the Sandful. Came here for a Fremantle training session, which was meant to start about an hour and a half ago. Lightning delayed it. There's been all kinds of chaos, and now they have just started training right as we're recording, so I will scurry over there after this and catch the back end of it.
I'll give you a quick clue. So it's a Thursday. They play Friday, so it's the captain's run. I'll give you a clue what's going to happen. Sweet call.
Correct. Yes, correct. That's hence why I'm not too concerned about sitting in the car. But this is, I just said this to Nick before you arrived. This is why I don't go when everyone else goes, because shit like this happens. You know, like if I go when I'm ready to go, then actually I was coming down the stairs just then as it was raining because the training's about to start. And this gentleman, there's a lot of Freo supporters here. A fair few have come over from WA. This gentleman said, "Oh, Rhino, I love the pod." I said, "Oh, thanks, mate. I'm actually going to go record now." And he goes, No, I truly love it. And I was like, is he having a go? Like I couldn't work out if the truly was a truly special thing or if he was just trying to say
he was being funny.
Truly loves it.
He was being funny.
He was, right?
Yeah.
He was.
Now I'm just looking at the weather in Adelaide. Sorry, Rhino. You're going to be wet right now, and then it's going to be hopefully at kick-off a little bit less likely of rain later on in the evening. So, mate, deal with the thunderstorms now. Lucky I'm not there because notoriously thunderstorms get me really horny. So,
is that true?
Sure. It's just something that get a bit fizzed up by a bit of a clap of thunder.
Well, if there's a blackout, you can't watch TV or anything else.
Did you lose your virginity in a storm or something?
Yeah,
what happened there?
Maybe you were conceived in a thunderstorm somewhere.
Created a storm. Don't worry about that. No.
Storm in a teacup.
Now, before we do get going, Rhino, because we've got to make this punchy because obviously you are sitting in a car.
Yes.
You've embarrassed the podcast once again.
Oh, what's he done?
What have I done now?
Well, I'm sitting there last night trying to eat my cup of soup, and you're doing selfies with nuffies. You can't see.
That?
That's you.
Who's that?
That's you.
Yeah.
That's you doing a selfie with two nuffies.
Well, they asked for a picture. What do you want me to say? No. I'm a man of the people. Yesterday I was copying it on the plane from a lot of Fremantle supporters asking why I wasn't in business class, and I said.
Question.
I'm a man of the people. I was offered business class, and I said no. Put me in the middle seat in row 18.
Never. No. As now our companies are aligned, Rhino.
Business is just for SCA.
You were not offered business, and also I don't know why you're at Gather Round. If you don't break a story over there, I'm honestly going to call a meeting amongst the CEOs. I don't know who that is at the moment, but I'm going to have a meeting.
One.
What?
Well, just said that training was postponed and then that training was back on.
Oh my God, that's the stuff we're dealing with. And last but not least, something funny from Rhino. You were away on Tuesday, when we recorded, but I did receive a message, and we spoke about Frankie Worrell from from Adelaide Crows, and we got a message. Selby got sent a message from a mate, obviously a family friend. He was driving to Gather Round with Worrell's parents. Yeah. And the message is, I'm sitting in the car with Josh Worrell's dad, his old man. He's listening to you, Nick and Zabe. This is to Selby. He agrees wholeheartedly. He's an all-Australian whinger. So his old man's picked up on Frankie Worrell's whinging to the umpires. And then later on, we mentioned it again. By that stage, the mum had woken up, and she also concurs.
So that's fantastic.
No, but we were very complimentary of Worrell saying all Australian and one of the leading defenders.
It's nice to have the support of your family, you know.
Well, they must sit there going. It must have been a habit he got into when he was like the age of 10.
Yeah.
And for years, they're just trying to pull his arm. Put your arms by your side. Stop whinging.
Then they thought he'll get to AFL level and they'll coach it out of him.
No, never happened.
No, not happening.
No, anyway, so that was nice to hear that, and we were again complimentary, so it wasn't an issue.
Yeah, no, we're happy with that. All right, well, let's get into the games, eh? So Thursday night at Adelaide Oval, 2 to 10 mil of rain predicted, but you reckon it's going to ease off by the time?
Yeah, it's 46% chance it bounce down.
So that's a 54% chance.
I was
going to
say, I reckon 9.7 mils has already come down. So I reckon there's only about 0.3.
Not much left.
Not much left. No.
Adelaide are paying $1.14, Carlton $5.60, and the line is 33.5. The ins, do you do the ins? I can't. You read this number.
Here we go. I'll do it for you, Rinny. I'll do this. You just relax on this path. Adelaide ins Nankervis, Hinge, Isaac Cumming returns from his stomach bug. Rory Laird returns, was going to play last week, out. Chase Jones omitted. Riley O'Brien omitted. Luke Pedler injured, and Hugh Bond omitted. For Carlton, there's been a couple of big outs. Wiedering with that concussion, we saw Zane Dersma hit him in the head last week in a specky. Will Hayward suspended for one incident. I thought he was pretty lucky not to get suspended for the other incident. And George Hewitt, last year's best and fairest winner, omitted for Nick Haynes, Zach Williams, and Hudson O'Keefe. But so let's start with George Hewitt. I think that the other midfielders in that team are the luckiest midfielders in the competition. They all should be omitted before George Hewitt.
Just quickly on the Hewitt, did you see the Kane Corns Twitter interaction?
Yeah, about being dropped.
I enjoyed that. He said, you can't drop it. When's the last time the best and fairest was dropped after 4 rounds? Someone said Kane Corns in 2010.
Yeah.
Then he fired back with it. Well, I hope it sounds like he's going to bounce back and win it again the next year.
So Kane got dropped round 4, 2011 or 2012, and then he won the best and fairest that same year.
Yeah.
Then he was dropped.
That is a great comeback.
Yeah.
Rhino, really quickly, let's go to Hewitt. Best and fairest winner. You look at Carlton and think maybe the way George Hewitt plays is the least of their problems, but I think it's done to keep Cherry in the midfield, but also get Jagger Smith, who pissed us off last week, not playing in the centre bounces. I think that's the sole reason is to get Smith around the footy more.
Yeah, clearly with Cherry back last week, there was just too many guys in the midfield, so they had to drop one. They're not going to drop Paddy Cripps. He's the captain, even though he hasn't been in the best form. Cherry has, had some injury. He's just come back. They're not going to drop him. You're not going to drop Jagger. I mean, maybe they had that conversation where when is there room for both these guys? We can't drop Jagger, and you can't drop Sam Walsh. So it sort of probably came down to he's the slowest guy other than Cripper. We need to get quicker. We need to get Jagger in the middle, and we need to get Walsh a bit more time in the middle as well. So it might just be an addition by subtraction in their minds of going, let's just create some space so these other guys can cook.
There's a phrase that comes to mind with this: shuffling deck chairs on the Titanic. It's all going down. They're just trying to rearrange stuff. It's going down anyway. Just let it go down.
No, they're sinking. I think George Hewitt.
Is that what it is? Is it Vosti going, well, I've done something. I did something. That was a pretty big thing I did.
Yeah,
drop George Hewitt.
They needed to take a name, and if I was West Coast, for example, I would monitor that space very, very closely.
Hewitt or
just a bigger body to help with. You're watching Harley Reid get bashed up last week and zero help or support.
Yeah,
that's one thing George Hewitt does. He's a team man. Anyway, moving along. Carlton, we all think Carlton are going to get smacked.
Yes.
Do we think they're going to lose by 33.5?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Yeah, I like the over.
This is too slippery.
I also reckon Adelaide are a frustrated football club right now. They've lost 3 really close games against good teams. I reckon opening of Gather Round, they're frustrated. They could come out and just have an almighty display.
Can you imagine what
I've got a feeling about this
one. With no Wiedering down back, Thriller is going to have a feast.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a feast. I think let's go Friday night footy. Collingwood at $2.70 v Fremantle $1.47. Line 13.5 points. But before we do get into the game, let's talk a little bit of Woodside. Footy is part of our culture. It ignites our passion and brings us together. As a proud major sponsor of the Fremantle Football Club, Woodside has accepted the challenge of supporting local footy from grassroots to greatness, so it can thrive throughout WA. Woodside, Australia's leading energy company. Fremantle win this. Mark my words. There's absolutely no way in the world that Fremantle lose it. And Rhino, this is where you chime in and go, this is where you do that thing. This is where you do that thing. You go to Scarborough Sporting, this is where you do your thing. No. Factually incorrect. Collingwood are on the slip. We saw last week they are stiff that Dacos is back. Dacos is the only player in that team that gives them an element of oxygen.
Can I ask where you're watching the game tonight, Xavier, or tomorrow night?
I'll be sitting with me Freo mates, Fluff, Duff and Dingo.
So there it is.
I
think you're right. No, I think you're right. I don't think Collingwood can kick a score at the moment. I think Fremantle are obviously firing offensively, so I don't think Collingwood can keep up with them from a scoreboard perspective. Free obviously played here last week. They played very well. They had some patches that were down, but they won the game and they played well. I can't see Collingwood winning the game. Everyone here that you speak to is very nervous, as you can imagine. They're Fremantle fans. But I feel very strongly that they'll win this game. And I don't think they'll do it easily, but I think they'll win the game.
You're not suggesting Fremantle fans always think we're going to lose, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, just quickly, really interesting, the audience. There'd be 50,000 at Adelaide Oval.
It's all kinds of people.
You would assume, but I'd assume, 35,000 will be Collingwood.
Well, you assume
40,000 will be Collingwood.
I don't know. Do they go to Gather Round if it's just the one?
I think Collingwood will fill it up like they do Gold Coast. They always turn up. They've got 1 trillion supporters. When they go to the Gold Coast and it's always full for them.
Yeah, that's the June, July school holidays.
Yeah, and one last thing on Collingwood. Obviously, last week we saw no Nick Dacos and they were bland and boring, but they were against the best team in the competition. Darcy Cameron is the best and fairest winner from last year. George Hewitt we just spoke about. All this talk about Ruckman, the new rules, phasing out Ruckman who aren't athletic. The two best Ruckman in the competition, Max Gawn, Grundy.
Yeah. And
underneath that last year, I would have put Darcy Cameron.
Yep.
Why are we doing this Steen thing? I know Steen looks good with the razzle-dazzle flopper topper over the rocker, but in all honesty, you've got to give your best and fairest winner 5 weeks in that position. He whacked them in the state of origin. He knows how to play the game. He lacks all confidence now, and he looks like an absolute shadow of himself.
Mm.
You answered your own question. What did he win last year?
Best and fairest.
Yeah.
Best and fairest.
Best and fairest. Now, who did they want to win last year?
I know.
So Oscar Steen has come in to ruin Darcy Cameron so that we make no mistake that Nick Dacos wins the best and fairest. I'd be watching out. If I were Josh Dacos, I'd be watching my back right now.
Yes. Just quickly, who's West Coast list manager? What's his name?
Matt Clark.
Matt Clark.
Matt Clark. Here's another one for you. I know that Darcy Cameron re-signed. Go get him for 2 years and let the hyphen develop and play 25% ruck, 75% forward. There's 2. I've done your list for you already. Protection for Harley Reid.
Would you give up your first rounder next year for Darcy Cameron?
They can't ask for a first rounder. They don't want to play him.
He's under contract. He's got a 4-year contract.
Yep, I know that. But how can you go, well, they don't want him on the books for 4 years if they're not going to play him. That's the last thing Collingwood want. Anyway, there's a list job done for you. Protector for Harley Reid and someone who has a decent dig in the midfield and a ruckman that might win a hit out from time to time. Package it up, pay me 10 grand and we'll call it quits.
All right, moving on to the early game. Barossa Park, 2 mils of rain predicted. North Melbourne versus $5.25 versus Brisbane Lions $1.15. The line is 34.5. What do we think, gentlemen?
All right, North Melbourne.
I think it's...
You go, Ronner.
Yeah, I'll go here. I think it sounds like Hugh McCluggage might play, which is a big boost for Brisbane if he does get to the line. I think they're humming now. As much as North have looked good. Is this one you say it's the Barossa?
Yeah, Barossa Park.
Yeah, it's a strange old ground, that one. It's like it's very open. Normally it's warm down there. It won't be this weekend. I just think Brisbane are gonna hum along here for about the next 10 weeks and just rattle off a bunch of wins. So as much of North have improved, I can't see them getting Brisbane this weekend.
No, I'd be the same. Brisbane just look like they've clicked.
Yeah,
it take a little while to warm up after winning a flag.
I never had the most success I had last year on carton bets and money bets with the mighty Tab Touch was North Melbourne at the line. Every single week they nearly won at the line. This week I look at it and the line says 34.5. I was hoping for something like 49.5.
Yeah,
I think Brisbane.
That's not enough for you.
No, that's not enough for me. Brisbane have clicked into gear, and they've got that hunger because they've got those blokes like Jasper Fletcher, Will Ashcroft, Levi
Kitty
Ashcroft, Kitty Coleman, Logan Morris, for example, is a youngster. Like, they've still got enough youth. Oscar Allen, hasn't been near a final. They've still got that blend of players who are that hungry to still be on top of the table, young, exuberant. So,
I'd love to see Ashcroft get like 4 weeks where he's the best guy in the comp.
Yeah, he won't be because that's not his level.
Wait, you don't think that's his level?
No,
okay.
No, I don't.
He might finish top 5 in the Brownlow.
Let's just put 3 names in a hat. Marcus Bontempelli, Nick Dacos and Will Ashcroft. Which one's the odd one out?
No, but I'm saying for a 4-week stretch where he's the best, most consistent guy. If you add up the 36 and a goal and a billion clearances and inside 50s.
If you're talking
he's not like
Lachie Neale
legacy.
numbers.
He's not like legacy, the best guy, but like for a patch, he can be the best guy.
Okay. Don't bite my head off.
Well, mate, you just got to understand what I'm saying.
Let's go to the next game. Adelaide Oval. A slight chance of a drizzle, but I don't think there will be. Essendon $4.10 v Melbourne $1.24. I didn't have Melbourne starting $1.24 in any games this year, but they've been good. The line's 27.5. This is the game I think that they've had trouble selling tickets to. It's the only one that's not sold out.
Shock horror.
Shock horror. There's no way this game should be at Adelaide Oval. This should be at Norwood. And the Gold Coast Sydney game, yes, I know 100%. They're not draw cuts. That is a great game of footy, and they're sticking that one at Norwood. And no offence to Norwood, it's actually a brilliant place to watch footy.
I think Gold Coast have been stuck at Norwood every year, haven't they?
They always do. But, they worry about filling the stadium. I can tell you, you've got 2 Melbourne clubs. You're going to struggle to fill the stadium as it is, because if I was an Essendon supporter, I'd be going, you know what? Fuel cost is high. We're just going to give this year a miss. Maybe we'll go back next year. This is the game you don't want to watch.
I'll tell you what I'd do if I was an Essendon supporter. I'd go to Norwood Oval to watch a good game of footy.
Yeah.
But that would be my gather round. I'd be wandering over.
This is not really a Ticketmaster crowd here. There's not normally where we go to get tickets for footy. But can you buy it as a double header?
I assume so.
Can you get like an Adelaide Oval day pass?
Yeah, probably.
I think you can. I think they do that.
You must be. Yeah, but so let's just quickly skip through this one. No one particularly cares about either side. Love seeing Max Goulburn's form. Cozzy Pickett is outstanding at the moment.
Let's just speak about best players in the most watchable player in the competition.
No, but he also could be the best.
Yeah,
Cozzy's going through the roof. I can't see anyone tipping against Melbourne, Rhino.
Nah, not at all. And I think we saw Essendon last week, and they've talked about it this week. We figured out a way to keep the margin respectable. Is basically we're going to get it in the back line, and we're going to chip it around for half the game and hope that the other team doesn't get it so they can't score, which is what we saw in the second half against the Western Bulldogs the other day. I think we're going to see a really boring game of footy, and it'll just be how many times Cozzy can force turnovers, and that'll be how much Melbourne win by. Probably about 40 points, but it'll be such a boring game of footy.
I wonder what restaurant old Zachy Merritt's wife might stumble into at half time. There's some nice restaurants in Adelaide.
She would have been praying for
maybe the Pepsi
fixture.
Club. Might be in the Pepsi Club.
Oh, the Pepsi Club. Watch where you stand up there. Still might get the squishy toes.
All right, what are we on to now? Oh, it's the Norwood Oval one we talked about. Saturday twilight, 2 mils of rain. Sydney Swans $1.75 versus Gold Coast Suns $2.05. Line is 3.5. Good game. Good game.
Great game. This is the game of the round.
All right, tell me, Rhino, which way are you going?
I've ummed and ahed. I think I'm going to end up going with Sydney. I just reckon Gold Coast have had a little bit of sort of personnel, like Rao coming in. They've got to get that balance again. He's a great player, obviously, but they didn't have him for the first little bit. Walter back in the team. What does that mean for everybody else? I think there's just a bit of shuffling to do for them, and that's the only reason I think Sydney are a bit more, this is what we have right now. Errol's out, but we've moved on for a bit. I'm going to lean towards Sydney, but this is the game of the round, hence why it should be at Adelaide Oval. It's a no-brainer, but it is what it is.
I'm feeling a bit the same. Just concerns around how Gold Coast, the midfield just couldn't get going at all last week.
Mate, I'm just quickly going through then some of their names. Now, I was on it last week. I feel like we're sitting on the laps of the Gold Coast Suns and giving them a little... We're slowly sticking our tongue in their ears, whispering sweet nothings to them. But are we convinced that these players are as good enough to be consistently known as playing in the best team in the competition? John Noble got moved on from Collingwood, but Will Powell, Goulburn, Graham, Closey, Walter, Jeffrey, Zeke Ewland, Lockie Weller... Ethan Reed's young, obviously. Lombard's young, but again, you've still got to be a decent, output player at the top of the table. Rogers, there's some players there that I'm still thinking. I'm not sure. I'm convinced whether they're B or C or B or A or where they sit in the chain.
I like that sort of Closey Graham as those guys. I can see them as the guys in a premiership team who just sort of the role player types. They just
I can see 6, it, but 100% can see it. But they still need a group of those to go up a level.
Yep.
That's my opinion.
And Jordan will
just on this quickly. Yeah, I was going to say, does Jordan go to Anderson? Is that what happens?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. So just quickly looking through Sydney's form line, they beat Carlton by 63. They beat Brisbane by 44. They lost to Hawthorn, but they were 4 goals up without Heaney and Goulden. Mm-hmm. And they smacked West Coast by 128 points. I think Sydney win. I'll be taking Sydney head-to-head, and I'll be thinking, have a good Saturday night with the boys on Sydney Swans.
Yeah, done. The other Saturday night game, Adelaide Oval.
The back-to-back great games.
Yeah, this is a good afternoon, evening. Hawthorn, $1.65 versus Western Bulldogs, $2.25. The line is 7.5. These don't overlap. Please, someone tell me these.
No, they won't overlap. No. I think they've made the experience pretty flow-on-y.
Yeah, the early ones I think are overlapping a bit, which is not an issue. Very excited about this.
No overlap.
No overlap.
The first 2 games, the Kangas and the Essendon game overlap. But other than that, she's clean sailing. Get to a pub and sit down with your feet up.
Look, Hawthorn are the favourites here. And I'm not sure why.
Yeah, because Ed Richards is out. Tim English is out.
No Libba.
Trelaw's out. Libba's still out. They're missing a handful of guys now. And English, with the Bulldogs, they use English a lot around the ground as well. He's become a really dominant part of what they do. So I think that's what this was probably the game of the round until those injuries happened.
Yeah,
and now it's probably the second or third best, maybe the third best game of the round. I reckon Freo Collingwood's going to be pretty good.
I think, mate, get your Fremantle hat off. Hell.
Yeah, Collingwood are not.
Sorry, Joshy, you got to put a beep there.
What?
Fremantle Collingwood.
So rank the games for me. Which ones are you most excited to watch this weekend? Number 1 is Sydney Gold Coast.
Yeah, then Hawthorn Bulldogs.
Yes.
Yeah, I said they were a clear second, but they're.
Then probably Collingwood Fremantle.
He's broken
then
up.
Then it's probably Collingwood Fremantle.
Yeah,
no, it's probably Collingwood Fremantle.
Third.
Yeah, but the English stuff and the Richard stuff maybe knocks it back a bit for me. I'm still excited about it.
I'm still very confident in Western Bulldogs here.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Well, I will.
I'll give you $2.25.
You give me $2.25. Okay.
I tell you what. In fairness to Hawthorn, they're one part of the game I think that they're going to dominate, and it is off the back, of course, of Tim English not playing, is the Meek-Reeves combination. I think he's going to absolutely obliterate.
Who is the Western Bulldogs ruckman?
We're talking about Lobb and Darcy doing bits and pieces, but Reeves has been really good. He is dominant in the ruck. Like you watch how many times his direct hit out results in a clean clearance, not a pick it up off the ground and handball over your head, like an actual clean clearance. And Lloyd Meeks obviously had a great time at Hawthorn. That'll be the difference. Hawthorn will win, in my opinion.
All right, Sunday day, Norwood Oval, 1 Miller Rain. Geelong Cats, $1.09 versus the West Coast Eagles, $7.50. The line is 45.5, which maybe just last week, did you just write it off, or is it 45.5?
45.5 is not enough. I'll take that at half time.
Okay.
Not enough.
Not enough.
Someone needs to be getting a swab under the tongue who set that line. Rhino, you can't see West Coast getting in. I know you've got your bias, but you can't see bloody 45 points. You reckon Geelong are going to win each quarter by 11 points only?
They might get tomorrow.
No, I can see this one being far north of that. I think Geelong love a run up the score opportunity. Jezza will be licking his lips at a possible 7 or 8 for this one.
Oh yeah, that's the problem.
It is at Norwood, which I think traditionally isn't a high scoring ground. I think I might be wrong about that, but I think remember from last year, because it's quite thin, so I think it's quite congested. So I think this will get north of 10 goals. It doesn't look like Elliot Yeo's going to play. I'm not sure about Jamie Cripps. He didn't fly as to whether he's being rested or not. I think he might be.
Yeah.
So they're going in really young. It's Geelong are humming. That was a great game on Monday. I can't see it getting within. I'd take the line if it was 59.
Yeah, mate, $11 for 100. It was $19 last week for 100. I will sprinkle a little bit of dust from 45 onwards, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, and 105 probably if I can.
Really? I'm still pretty comfortable with 45.
Well, you reckon West Coast will get within?
I think Geelong will just slide down a few gears towards the end.
I don't think so. I don't think they've got the ability to. I think they need to win. I think they need to smack them. I think Geelong at the moment, I've got them sliding, and I know a lot of people have got them sliding. And I've been wrong about Geelong for years on years now. They need to probably have a big win just to be like, oh, there's the Cats.
Yeah, but I don't know if they have that in them this year.
Hey, Ryan, how much is it pissing down there? I can see your car is getting absolutely belted.
It is. It's the players aren't training; they're actually swimming out there. It's turned into an aquatic meet. It's I feel for my camo who's out there doing it tough. Although he's under shelter. He's under shelter.
Okay.
Just send him a text thinking of you, mate.
Let's get through this then, Ryan, because it does look like it's absolutely belting down. Sunday twilight, not too much to be said about this. At Barossa Park again. It'll be clear, the weather will be fine. GWS $1.14 v Richmond $5.40. The line's 34.5. The Giants are just going. We've spoken about their injuries multiple times, but we keep seeing on their injury list. We spoke about Sam Taylor being one that sort of just snuck under the radar for another 6 to 9 weeks out, but they've got a lot of players that are tests or 1 week or available, so their team is going to get stronger and stronger as the weeks go on. Giants, for mine, will belt Richmond.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I think Cadman and Daniels might be playing this weekend, so obviously they'll be a bit rusty, but just personnel coming back. I think Richmond, as we've said, they can't kick a score. I think at the Barossa, it's wide. I think Richmond will find it hard to keep up with GWS. So Giants all the way for me, and I reckon the line is easy.
34.5. Yeah, Rhino. I think I'm following you there.
I'll go with the Giants. I'd like to see it. Like I haven't seen it.
Well, you feel
round
like
one, awesome. Since then,
you do feel as though Richmond, who can't kick 60 points on a big ground, Rhino, you say at the Barossa, you feel like this might be a fill up for the Giants. 34.5. I'll follow you in there, Daniel. Sunday night, last game. All right, Port Adelaide $2.30, St Kilda $1.62. Both sides are very hard to get a read on the line. 8.5 points. For mine, I'll take St Kilda and I'll take the minus 8.5 points. Port Adelaide, who I was convinced were going to be okay this year. Not okay, but just a bit better than what they are. No Rosie's made a massive, massive difference, Rhino.
Oh, I think the Doty loved Port Adelaide like you guys did, and it was wrong. It was the greatest test for the Doty, and it hasn't come up well. The only thing that makes me pause is that St Kilda haven't been great, plus the Adelaide Oval end of gather round stuff. But it does feel like that last game of gather round, probably 50 to 60% of the punters have gone home.
Yeah.
So it's not as big as the other games. It feels more like a regular game than the other ones do. So I think St Kilda have to win this game, and they have to do it pretty comfortably.
I can't go St Kilda after this.
You can't.
But even Port being bad, still at home, like I said, most of the fly-ins would have gone home, so it'll be a heavy Port crowd.
It is funny that we'll be full. It will still be full with Port. You'd think they've been waiting all week to play.
I'll give it to Port.
I want to see Nazai hit the heights he hit last year.
Port don't tag, do they?
He spends Port. They've got a Willem Drew.
Drew.
Not really. They don't really tag. So it's going to be interesting what happens there. And Zach Butters will get clamped by Garcia within a minute, you'd think, and that'll be that for the day. But Zach Butters, there's a little bit of talk to him. We won't go into it too deep. We'll probably one for the 2-minute warning. A fair bit of talk about his ability to hit the scoreboard and stuff at the moment. And, if you're going to be paid $2 million, I don't think he's kicked a goal in 28 games. Or he's kicked one goal.
But everyone has to.
If you're watching, and I've got to be quick here because we're wrapping up. If you're watching him, he's a very unselfish player. Like there's a lot of times where he gets within sort of 60, 50 metres of goal, and he'll do that little dicky pass to a Georgiades or to whoever, instead of having a ping. There's a lot of players who, when they get within range, they'll just go, stuff this, I'm having a crack. He doesn't do that. He sort of tries to lay it on a platter, but you want a bit more of it?
I do, because he's also, I think, one of the easier players to tag because he's one out in there. He hasn't got the big Bontempelli body. Tries to fly through the stoppages, but he's got big Sweetie rucking to him. He doesn't have a Max Gorn or someone who's got a few tricks for him. I would like to see him probably, because if you're tagging and he passes, you don't really care about that. But if you're tagging, he puts one over your head. That starts to make you think, geez, if he kicks another one, he's kicked 2, then he's on top. Anyway, we move on from that. So you've gone Port Adelaide, and Rhino and I are both with St Kilda. Let's get to our hard ball bets. Place the same game multi with Tab Touch, boost your odds, and combine up to 16 legs within a single game into one bet. You can find our multis under the trending bet section on the Tab Touch app. Ryan, have you got yours in front of you, or do you want me to read yours out?
I do. Yeah. Yep. No, I don't have the amount, but I can do the legs. So I've gone with something very
$6.40.
Okay. All right. So I've gone very simple here, and it's the Melbourne Essendon game, and I think it's going to be an awful game of footy. But as I said, Essendon are trying to hold the footy up, particularly in their back line. So I've gone for 15 disposals, Barrow,
Yep.
Johnson,
Yep.
and I think Reed is the other one.
It is.
And then Harvey Langford for Melbourne to just get 15. So those
15's
four,
all round.
15, all 15.
I like that, Rhino.
It's very simple, but and it's easy to count. You just need 15s along the way. It's a nice way to do it.
I do like that. Okay, so that's $6.40. I'll follow you in there, Rhino. But Rinny, what have you landed on?
It's a tasty one.
I am going to Hawthorn Western Bulldogs. Go Aaron Norton, one of the form forwards of the comp. And I need 3 goals from him. Nick Watson, I need 2 goals.
The Wizard.
The Wizard.
They were saying that the Wizard's the best player at Hawthorn by a long way via champion data. I saw that the other day.
Really? Yeah. He makes things happen wherever he goes. And then Lockie Jakes for Western Bulldogs, give me 15. Josh Ward at Hawthorn, give me 20.
Yep.
Wrap that up, that's $8.
Gee, Josh Ward was good on Monday. He was fantastic. Just that one more mark would have been...
would have been nice.
Would have been handy. I could have flown you home in business, Rhino. Right, let's go to my game. Collingwood v Fremantle. Fremantle win that game. This is pretty simple. So I've actually backed it myself. I've accidentally put the bet on when I did the multi and didn't send it through. So we've got Fremantle win. Dan McStay, 1 goal. Jamie Elliott, 1 goal. Jai MS, 1 goal. Done. Darcy Cameron, just 10 disposals. Darcy Cameron, gee, he's 4, he could have 10 disposals. Murphy Reed, 15 disposals, and Still Sidebottom, 15 disposals. That's $5.40. So I've actually backed that myself, and I think that is likely to get up. Tab Touch, let's wrap a ribbon around this. This episode was brought to you by Tab Touch. The more you know, the better it gets. Download the Tab Touch app today. Real punters play here. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au.